this tuner, to turn it on, you just press the button, and you'll see down in this lower corner it has the letter C. The letter C is for chromatic. It also has settings for guitar, bass, violin, ukulele. Now, I recommend just putting these types of tuners on the letter C for chromatic. And not all tuners have this feature. But if it's on chromatic, it's good for all instruments. The settings that are specific for instruments, violin, ukulele, guitar, etc., those are intended to be helpful, but in my experience, I find they aren't very helpful. They tend to confuse students more than they help. So my recommendation is put it on the letter C for chromatic, and all it changes is how the computer responds when you play a note. And I won't go into too much more detail about it than that, because otherwise it's just confusing. So yeah, I recommend chromatic setting if yours has settings. They don't all have settings. But yeah, if you see a little letter like that, you just keep pushing the button and it'll cycle through the letters. So set it on chromatic. Now I want you to see what happens when I pluck a string. So I'm plucking the E string, and you see the letter E, and then you see a little needle that moves like a speedometer needle on a car. And you'll notice that when I'm plucking it, the needle, it says E, which is good because we're tuning the E string, so that part's good. But you'll notice the needle is going past the center. So I'm going to turn this string down. So now it's saying it's D sharp. That's a different note. So I'm on the wrong note entirely. So what you need to remember here is when we go through the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the sound is getting higher and higher and higher. And if we go through the alphabet backwards, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, the sound is getting lower and lower. So in this case, the tuner says D sharp. That little symbol right there, that's a sharp sign. So this isn't a D, this is a D sharp. And now it thinks it's a C sharp. I think it's just confused. But D sharp is a note between D and E. So we want it to say E, and right now it says D. So A, B, C, D, E. E is the letter after D, so that means we need to tune it higher. So I'm going to pluck the string and turn the knob and listen to the sound get higher as I turn the knob. And that way I know I'm going the right direction. So there's the E we want, but it's a little bit too high. So I'm going to turn it down, and I'm going to listen to it while I turn it down. Now you can see that, well, it's having trouble registering, and that happens sometimes. So if it is, you can just kind of re-clip it to a different place on the headstock. That's better. Now you can see it's a little low. So I'm going to pluck it and listen to it and turn it higher. Getting closer. There we go. So on this tuner, when it's in tune, that needle goes right in the center and the whole screen lights up green. All right, so I'm sorry about bouncing around so much, but I'm trying to hold my cell phone to film this at the same time I'm trying to work on the guitar, so it's a little bouncy. So on that tuner, to turn it off, I had to push the button down and hold it. So on this tuner, let's just push the button. Yep. So this one, you just push the button to start it. Some of them you push and hold. You can see the little needle there already. I pluck it. And so this one doesn't have the different modes. This one's just automatically chromatic, and it doesn't have the violin, ukulele, guitar settings. It's just a straight chromatic tuner, and you don't have to worry about those settings. Personally, that's my preference. Now on this one, you'll notice that it goes up to the middle and highlights that one in the middle, which is maybe blue or green, depending on, I think it's blue. Now, if I tune it too high, let me tune it too high. There we go. So see, the needle is going to the right of the center, and you're getting green. So that means it's too high. And if I go too low, oh, now it's just red, and it's not quite making it to the center. So again, I'll pluck and listen as I turn. That's really hard to get used to when you're first learning this. You don't just turn the knob. You pluck the string, listen to the string ringing, and listen to the string changing pitch as you're turning the knob. It takes a little bit of coordination and multitasking. There you go. It's perfect. I'm plucking it, and it's going right to the center. Now, sometimes you'll notice it's kind of bouncing around and saying different letters. That's okay. The computer is hearing different things. It can hear things that you and I can't hear. Like a dog can hear things you and I can't hear. So it's got to decide, the computer has to decide what it's hearing. Most of the time it's right, but sometimes a computer can get confused and hear the wrong thing. This one's doing a pretty good job. All right. So now I'm going to turn this tuner off. And that one I just had to push it to turn it off. I didn't have to push and hold like I do on some of them. Now on this one, let's see what this one is like. Ah, see that? That said 440. Did you see it? When I turned it on, it said 440. So this tuner has the ability to be calibrated. And if it said 441 or 442, then it's going to tune the instrument a little bit higher than what is considered standard. So standard concert pitch is 440. And again, that's another little bit of a complicated subject, so we'll leave it at that. And look, this tuner is trying to tune right now, even though I'm not playing the instrument. It hears my voice talking. It hears my heater running in the background. So it's going to try, it thinks it's hearing a B right now, but it's not sure. So this is an important, like right now, if I'm turning the knob, that's not going to do me any good because it's not really hearing the string ring. So I need to pluck the string. There we go. Now it's hearing the string. Now this one, you notice it doesn't have a needle, but it has little blue bars to either side of the letter. So I do have an E. So let me turn it down, tune it down a little. Oh, look. Now, not only is everything on the left, but now I have yellow lines. So that's telling me it's too low. And now this tune's too high, and I have yellow on the right. So these tuners all have different ways of telling you whether it's too high or too low or just right. But notice how all of them, too low is on the left and too high is on the right. So that's something they all have in common. So I'm going to try and get it in the middle just right. So I'm going to pluck the string and listen while I turn the knob, just a little bit at a time. Oh, look, the yellow's gone. Okay. Hey, look. Now I have the E in the middle and the blue bar on the right and the left. So that's how this tuner tells me when it's in tune. I'm looking for the letter I want, which is E, and the bar on the right and the bar on the left. Now this tuner has some extra buttons, this one and this one and this one. Try not to hit those, just try and hit the main power button. These other buttons do other stuff, and it can put the computer in the modes that you're not going to understand. Some of these tuners are a little bit complicated, so try and just use the power button. And then if you start pushing these other buttons, or if you push it on accident, you might need somebody's help to get your tuner, the computer and the tuner readjusted so it'll work again. So try and just use the power button. And this one, it's right here. Usually it'll be obvious which one is the power button. But if you have a different tuner, you might need to read the owner's manual or look at a YouTube video for help on your particular brand and model of tuner. There are thousands of them out there. So, but by showing you 3 different tuners today, yours is probably something at least a little bit like one of these. And that just kind of gives you a starter course in guitar tuners. And then one thing I'll say is a tuner is visual. You look at it. And the problem is you do need to still listen. And that's what I find music students have the most trouble with is because it's visual and they're looking at a tuner, they stop listening. And really, you do need to listen because you will get confused and the tuner will mislead you because you're not listening. You're just using your eyes. So you need to use your ears as well and your good judgment. And when you're turning the tuning key, like right now, I'm turning the tuner, but I shouldn't be. Why? Well, because I can't hear it. I didn't pluck the string. So there's no sense in turning this if I can't hear it, because then I don't know how much I'm moving it. Am I tuning it a lot or a little bit? So here's a mistake I see people make. They'll see well, let me make it a little low. Okay. So there's a D sharp. I need an E, right? All right, so there's an E, but it's a little bit low. So then let's say I stop it from ringing and then I turn the knob. Well, how do I know if I turned it the right amount? Now I can check it again. Oh, see, now it's too high. Okay, well, let me stop the string, and now I'll turn it down, and I'll pluck it. Oh, now I'm too low. Okay, I'll stop it, and I'll turn it, and I'll pluck it again. Oh, now I'm too high. I'll never get there this way. So I need to pluck the string and listen as I turn and watch. Look at that. So I listened and watched and turned. My ears and the tuner and my hands all worked together to get that E perfectly in the